Hi there, this is Mark Dell, and I'm here to show off the PlayStation Vita. Now as for the system itself, before we actually show the content of the games, just to show off the little cartridges, this is a little deviance here. Just compare this against Street Fighter for the 3DS. See, the cartridges are just tiny. Of course, you don't have to buy them in the stores, you can pick them up digitally. Sometimes it's cheaper to get them digitally, there's often like a 10% off. But if some of these games, they go for about 3.2 gigs, so getting 10% off does not cover the cost of the rather ridiculous memory cards. See the memory card slot down here at the bottom of the Vita. Let's pop this out. Tiny little proprietary memory cards, just an 8 gig one here. They go up to 32 gig right now for about $100. A few other spots here worth checking out. There's a place here in the side where you'll put in your, well, actually it comes with an AT&T SIM card. This is for the 3G model, obviously. Slot up here for where the games go. Let's go. Pop in Katamari. Label front. But data front. There we go. There's another port up here. Not really too sure what this one's for. I'm sure it's something important. It looks like you can screw something in there to hold something in place. I don't know, maybe there's going to be some kind of add-on. I've not read about it. I've been using it just fine without it. Down here we also have a data port where you can charge it, hook it up to your PC, do whatever. We have a headphone jack. A cam here at the front. Another cam here at the back. A couple of little hand grips. So you try and hold it like this so you're not resting your fingers on this rear touchscreen. And that's pretty much the system. You have your two thumbsticks here, which are really very nice. I do prefer them to the circle pad on the 3DS and the kind of circle pad-ish controller here on the PSP. It's a great system. Well, now we'll take a look at some of the games. Now, the first game here is Touch My Katamari. Well, this game was really short. It felt like it took just only a couple of hours to play through. Just gonna go jump into something here. Let's not do this. So there's the main missions, and then there's kind of side missions you can do, like aren't part of the main story, if you will, such as this one here where you have to collect 50 items of any kind of item, but you want to get the biggest items. Once you get 50 items, it's over. You know, I'm going to start this with a showstopper and just show the last level, because for me this is always what Katamari's been about. It's just the last level where you're rolling up entire planets. Oh, yeah, you may have noticed by this design I have customized the King of all Cosmos here. I'm going to make him look a little bit dapper. Give him a monocle. Oh, looks like that even comes through on the loading screen. Okay. Now as for controls, I've actually customized this to use both the thumbsticks here, just like it worked on like the PlayStation or Xbox. So I'm just holding these forward and rolling away. Now, this does not make much use of any kind of touch controls. The only thing you can do is kind of pull at the back to kind of squeeze out the Katamari and then squeeze towards the... It's not a particularly useful thing to do. This does get kind of handy like this because you can kind of just really get everything. And the other one, like, you know, when you get into these situations, it's kind of handy to kind of squeeze it down a little bit, but you could really kind of get by without doing it at all. You have it it's set so it's just like a tap on the back, or double tap on the back will just make the Katamari jump. Oh, not big enough for those yet. So there's 8 main levels and maybe about 5 or so extra missions on it. So like I said, it's a very, very short game. They already do have additional missions up for download, which I think works pretty well. The game is cheap. It's like $20, $30. It's one of the ones with a 10% off if you buy it through the market. And since the game is actually kind of small, it really does pay to get the digital release and put that extra 10% towards buying a bigger memory card. And then with a cheaper price, it's a little bit more justifiable that they make the game so short. So I can do some of the little tricks. So like spinning the thumbsticks, like one clockwise, one anti-clockwise, you can do the different abilities such as making it go real fast or turning around really fast. And you know, this was a lot easier to do when I wasn't thinking of things to talk about at the same time. Each time you do one of these missions you are rated, and you get a high enough rating, you get more points, and you can use those points to unlock like additional challenges in existing levels, so it kind of unlocks more side missions, but you're just playing through the same levels as you've done before. Yeah, and there's those curios to find in these missions as well, which just things to find. There's not really too much benefit behind a lot of these things. Now here I'm already like rolling up small houses and cars and stuff. It starts just like all the other Katamari games where you're rolling up erasers and little things on the floor. Those missions are cool because you're trying to just judge sizes and working out the best route to take to try and get the most stuff. But I really do love these later missions where everything just gets crazy. And I'm probably not going to play it for long enough here to really show off the giant rolling up the whole islands thing. But it's kind of the thing that if you're really into Katamari, maybe you've missed out on the 360 ones, you really liked it on the PlayStation 2. I guess there probably was a Katamari game that came out for the PlayStation 3. I know that there was one that came out for the PSP. But if you've kind of missed out on it for a while and you want to go back and play some more Katamari, there really is not much bad to say about this game except for its length, which, like I said, is a little bit easy to justify thanks to the lower price. Because there are Vita games that go for like $40, so seeing one that you can get for around $30, kind of nice. Alright, let's just get into this other area and then shut this off. Huzzah! Let's see what we have over here. It seems like it's laboring. We're going really slow here. Look at those cows. We're just trying to roll up this whole housing complex here. Nice. You know, why would you want to play the levels where you're rolling up erasers when you can just be doing this, just causing complete chaos? Alright, that's probably the perfect place to go finish this off. So that is Katamari on the Vita. So next we have Uncharted Golden Abyss.
Hey, come on.
Now I'm going to try and keep this as spoiler free as possible because I know a lot of people that are planning on getting a Vita is probably because of this game.
Hey, that hurts. What are you doing?
Sorry, but if you want to get your amulet back, we have to do this my way. Look.
Let's get through some of this stuff here. The voice work and the writing in this game I did really enjoy. It didn't have... I know this isn't done by the main team that may have done the other Uncharted games, but it's still just a great experience playing this. So I did play through the game, that's why I've got 110 melee kills. This is only about the 3rd or 4th mission. Oh, man. One thing I do like the thumbsticks on the Vita, but they're not necessarily always... Whoa. Just deal with this guy. Yeah, some touch events here. Get out of there. Now the sticks aren't necessarily the most accurate when you're trying to really zoom in on somebody. So I have enjoyed the tilting of the device for kind of like some fine control. I don't want to do it quite that extremely, but if you kind of get close to somebody like this, it can be kind of a pain at getting exactly on their head by just using the thumbsticks. So I kind of have enjoyed getting kind of close and then tilting the device just a little bit more analog than the thumbsticks are sometimes. Get a little bit more precision. I'm able to pop the guys from a distance away. This guy's well armored. I should deal with him. Oh man. Alright.
Too easy. This way.
The game is pretty long.
Come on, through here.
Oh, cutscenes. Let's go from here.
Good Lord.
The game is pretty long. It has like 32 levels in it,
Hey, I'm gonna go find
but
that rope.
that doesn't mean it's longer than
Careful.
the Uncharted games on the PlayStation 3. They did a really good thing by breaking up the levels into really small pieces. Throw a grenade over here. Oh man, that didn't go well. I was just going to say also how much I like the grenade controls, but really screwed that one up. So yeah, the levels are pretty small pieces. Some are a lot longer than others and all, but for the most part they're really good lengths. They have pretty good checkpoints, which is nice to see. Because you don't want to, especially with a mobile platform, you need to put the game down and then have to be worrying about where you last saved and all of that kind of stuff. I'm trying to rush through this a little bit too much. I really didn't want to be showing quite this much combat. Ooh, what did you get there? Perfect. Yep, so the combat is Uncharted combat. There's nothing that really makes this any better or worse than the others. Can't say I'm a fan of these quick time events. It's one thing to go hitting a button. It really doesn't add anything to the experience by having me swipe around the screen to do those little maneuvers. There's plenty of swiping elsewhere in the game to clean objects and I mean, they try and use every part of the system. You have to rotate objects with the rear touch panel, and then brush them clean with the front touchscreen, and there's parts where you even use the camera at the rear of the device. I guess about the only thing it doesn't use is the front camera. Hey. Awful death sequences. Alright, you know what? I'm going to jump out of this. We're going to try hitting another level. Maybe one with a little bit more climbing, some larger environments. Load times on this game are pretty remarkably good considering the scale of what's going on. There's other games out there. Yeah, this has probably got a fair bit of climbing. There's other games out there for the Vita that have seemingly a lot less going on than this, that take a whole lot longer to load up. Yeah, I don't think that was an unreasonable load time by any means. It just looks amazing.
Oh, damn it. Jeez. Damn muddy roads. Just got these clean.
Those are fancy.
Yeah.
Sell men's shoes where you got those?
Oh, very funny. Mr. Nathan Drake, always good for a laugh. Hey, look at these. Sea turtle. You know how much they sent me back?
What's the matter? Couldn't find your baby hippo boots?
So now you've joined Greenpeace all of a sudden?
It's just...
Ah, awesome. I could just listen to him speak. So here we go. First chapter. Not getting into any combat here anytime soon.
Are you keeping up or what?
What's the
Let's
hurry?
get to
There's no hurry. We just got
run around, listen to some dialogue, do some of the better stuff in Uncharted.
Well, since when are you a rock climber?
I'm not. I'm a rope climber.
Cute.
Remember what Sully used to say?
And it's just things like that actually which bother me. It's like why not allow people to use the thumbsticks and the D-pad to select these other options? I mean, it's great that it works for the touchscreen and it's nice as the touchscreen and everything, but it doesn't mean that you should have to disable the options that people have been using for years to select things on a menu. I see why people do that with platforms such as Android, because you just don't know if they're going to be a hardware keyboard or anything else, but it just seems unnecessary on here. You just... like, hey, we have a touchscreen. You should make sure you use it. Ah, great, this is what I wanted to show. Now, this is one point where I do like the fact that there's a touchscreen option. So I can go climb up these rocks, pressing the X button, jumping around, or I can trace the path using the touchscreen. And sometimes that's actually kind of neat, because like I know what path I need to take. I could hold up and keep tapping X, or I could just do that and have him just go handle it himself, which is kind of cool. I like those options.
I don't see that.
I like those points when there's an option.
That's why I'm here.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
You know, tying my hand to
Come on.
one way or another. They're just showing off now. They're showing off how freaking amazing this looks.
Why don't you take
Go
a
use the
picture?
camera
It'll
here.
last longer.
Use the rear touchscreen to go zoom in. Nice picture of that sunset. Go add it to his journal. Alright, well that's really all there is to show on Uncharted. I mean, there's a plenty to show in this game as it's being a long one, but you kind of get the point. Let's go. Just go take a screenshot of that. And here we have Little Deviants. And I'm thinking this is probably going to be one of the harder games to show, since this is kind of a selection of the mini games that involve using all the features of the Vita. So there's games where I'll be like spinning the Vita around or touching the back a whole lot. All these other things which won't work too well with a static camera. So how about, let's go to the first world. I've actually not played through this game the whole way, because playing about 3/4 of the way through it, I kind of felt that I'd seen enough. Gives here a little hint of what kind of thing you're going to be doing, so that's touching the front, touching the rear of the screen. And the deviants definitely feel like they're, I don't know, kind of coming off the Raving Rabbids kind of idea. Wacky character, screaming a lot, strange situations. So here I'm touching the back of the Vita to kind of press up on the world. This isn't multi-touch, so I'm just pressing down with one finger here. Get that key. It isn't the easiest thing to know where your finger is at all times on the back of the screen, but since you're always seeing where your finger is pushing up, because if you just don't let your finger off, you kind of see where you're going. These are really easy levels. Yeah, so since you always see where your finger is, you really don't need to worry too much about where you're pressing down. Now, it's boring. Let's exit that level. Let's see if we can find something a little bit more interesting, because even though there's a collection of micro games, not many of them are amazingly interesting. There's still some better things to show than that. Let's try a tougher world. So yeah, here we go. I have a new level here, so let's see what this is all about. So it looks like it involves the gyroscope and touching the screen. Oh, different orientation. Well, that's kind of a pain, but everyone just tilt your head. Alright, so just tilting the device to moving them around, trying to land on the stars. Guess you're probably also supposed to tilt it forward and backwards. Yep. Doesn't seem like he really wants to go in any different speed. It's like it's just always forward. Tap the small parts to destroy them. So I guess that's where the touchscreen comes into play. Alright. Nope. Exit level. I had not seen a level quite like that one before, so at least they do keep introducing new mini-games, although I did notice that revisiting some of the same ones throughout the course of the missions. It's nice that they at least give you new ones, even if they don't necessarily explain them in any way. Oh, here's a classic style of game. This thing kind of controls on this one. You know what, it's probably not too keen on the fact that I've got the Vita completely flat down on that other game. It probably wanted me to be holding it upright. But this one, more designed for a Vita to be flat. So yeah, I'm tilting it around and it's like I'm rolling the dude inside a maze. This doesn't seem to be very well calibrated. That's probably what this button's for. Nope. Okay. Because flat does not mean flat. Flat means up. Press this button here to go shot that dude. And yeah, now it's a game like this. I don't really know what else to say about Little Deviants. It's a collection of lots of tiny little games like that. They get definitely pretty tough towards the end. There's lots of different things to unlock in each mission. You've got to try and find a cat, and you get rated gold, silver, bronze. So add some replay ability to it. Look through the different games here. Yeah, it's a minigame collection. It's not so great. And that's Little Deviants. And here we have Wipeout 2048 for the Vita. I'm actually having some problems signing into the PlayStation Network right now. I don't know what's up. I have not taken a look at it, but it's preventing any kind of online play on these games. So let's start off with all of these kind of missions. So, first thing, loading times. See here, it is taking its sweet time to load up this mission. I'm probably going to go speed through the other loading times, but I'm just going to talk through this one. They take about 45 seconds or so to load up. There was a patch that came out which made things better, but yeah, it just jumps from 50 to 100%. It's just a little bit too long, and I don't really know why it needs to be so long.
D-class.
But you just have to love the look of these games. Especially like these missions here. Now this is just... There's no acceleration, there's also no braking. You just have to keep going, you keep getting faster, and you have to try and complete as many zones, just keep going as long as you can to complete the level. Now I was never that great with the Wipeout series. The kind of the floatiness of the vehicles always made it hard to get a feel for just which way the damn things are going. Also just have to love the video, the music on these things. Actually, can just go in here and use the options. Yep, just go skip the track. There we go. Bit of Prodigy.
Zone 5 clear.
You know, for a second, I'm just going to listen to the music.
D-class.
Alright. Let's quit out and let's look at a more normal race. A few other races going on it. The first race of the second season here. You unlock extra vehicles. I've done nearly half of them, I guess. Since I'm doing a race, I'm probably gonna, well, you know, just for the sake of doing something different, I'm gonna go pick this one here. Still one of the racing vehicles. Yeah, you seem to unlock the vehicles as you reach, like different levels. You level up by doing more races. As you level up, you'll unlock more vehicles. Then there's special races where you'll always unlock vehicles. I'm just going to go skip ahead on this loading time. Okay, that one seemed to take a little bit longer than the last one. Maybe because there's a lot more textures to load in. Oops. After doing that last race, I forgot I need to hold down a button to go forward. Still just looks amazing. It's easy to badmouth some of the things about the Vita, You know, the cost of the games. I think this one here is $40. Uncharted is $50. Or, you know, just how people prefer to play games on their iPhones and such. But you just kind of have to see some of these games. They just look quite amazing. I have a lot of assists on right now, which is actually turn them on because I was hoping it would make a level easier. I just find they're messing me up because it seems like it just takes control of the vehicle when you really don't want it to. Well, even though it's generally saving me, you don't feel like I'm learning from my mistakes when it just pulls me away from the wall rather than me suffering for it. Look at this. It's one of the earlier missions. I'm still in 8th. Now, I'm really not bad at video games, but man, I just cannot play Wipeout. Just don't know what it is. It's never really clicked for me. Racing down the track, hitting every wall. Now, I completed this mission and I did pretty well at it last time. Alright, enough of seeing me fail on this. I'm going to show one more level. It's going to be a shooty one. This one here. Now see, I got an elite score on this, so I can do the shooting ones. Put me a ship with guns. Alright, once again, I'm going to go ahead and skip through this loading time, because you don't need to see this. Okay, I'm going to use some guns.
Combat systems ready.
You need to get a certain score, and every time you do some damage to one of these other ships, the score goes up. If they destroy you, then your score goes down. If I keep flying like this, I'm definitely going to be destroyed. I'm already at 66%. I think I'm better at these because they're not actual races. Like, it seems that if you slow down, everybody else will kind of slow down so they can shoot you. And with these power-ups I'm picking up, these orange squares, get it? These orange squares are offensive power-ups. The green ones there are defensive ones. Which, like this one here, seems really pretty cool. She's sapping the power away from the other guy and healing me, which is kind of an offensive power-up in a way. Oh, I already have a power-up. I should shoot it. Gotcha. Sometimes when you have like mines and I'm at the back of the pack, you can press a button and absorb the mines into yourself, and that will heal you slightly. Jeez, that guy hit me with a plasma. That did plenty of damage. So the little green sign up there means I just passed the level. So now it's just a case of keep playing to try and get the better award, or in this case, beat my previous score, which I'm going to say I'm probably not going to do. It is possible to have actually achieved the required score and then go get blown up and actually fail the mission. Oh, boom. 20 seconds left. Ooh, now that was a good shot with plenty of points. Don't think it's going to get me another 25 in the next 3 seconds though. Oh, pff, boom. Alright, well that is Wipeout 2048 for the Vita. And here we have Lumines Electronic Symphony for the Vita. This game has not changed a whole lot from the previous ones on the PSP. I'll just show you a couple of the little options inside here that do make it different. There's a little collection room here where you get these avatars. You can switch between these different people that you unlock and get these different powers inside the levels. Kind of neat, like stopping the timeline, changing the next block, making the blocks drop slower. But that probably does not mean a whole lot to you if you've not played a Lumines game before, so I'm just going to jump into the game here and explain what is going on.
The future of the future.
Okay, so the game really doesn't need to be on the Vita. This could have probably come out for the PSP. Graphically, it looks really cool, but as far as a technical achievement, I don't know. It just looks neat. So I'm dropping these blocks here. I'm using the D-pad to move them around. I could also use the stick, but just using the D-pad. I'm pressing X here to spin them, and down to drop them when I think I've got them lined up nicely. And the trick is to get a pattern of 4. So like here, there's 4 blocks, and they glow blue. When that line moves past, big 1 appears, it's made 1 set, and those blocks disappear. So that is pretty much Lumines. It has not really changed a great deal, but it's still, with the art style that it does have and everything else, it's something just kind of addictive about it. It was one of the better games for the PSP when it came out. It was kind of a surprise. I've got the same block here from the old one. So if this one here touches other red blocks, all the other red blocks get marked for deletion. Have to make some bigger combos here. You see in the top right it says I'm 32% clear with this level. When this level is done, it will begin a new level which is basically the same in every way except for different music, different style of blocks. It's kind of like a different coat of paint. Often it runs at a different speed. Like you may play one level, it'll be really fast, and then the next level will actually be slower than the previous one. I'll try and just play through this level here. There are some new blocks in this version. I've not seen one drop yet. But there's a block that will randomize all the existing ones. It's not really a huge game changer, but that's another thing about Lumines is you can just... It's not a fantastic portable game because one level can take a really long time. Like, I'll sometimes sit for a couple of hours on the same playthrough when I'm not really screwing up like that. It's just not... It's not that difficult until things start moving really quickly. That doesn't give you enough time to decide what you're doing. That's where the multiplayer, I imagine, when he steps in. We're nearly done with this level now. Try and set these up. There we go. This should do it. Oh man. There we go. An extra bonus for getting rid of every single one of the blues. That should get me to 100%. New level, new weird song. So I can tap this button over here to activate my power, which you see has stopped the timeline there. If I was in a better situation, then it would have really allowed me to build up a pretty awesome combo. I'm just really showing it off. And you can tap the back of the Vita. You can see that the on the left hand side it shows that I'm 14% now towards getting my next power up. If I keep tapping the back of it, that percentage goes up 1% for each tap. Oh, no, not quite 1% for each tap. Yeah, screwed that one up. So you can like a recharge by repeatedly tapping the back of the system. It's kind of hokey. I can't think of any good reason why they would have done that, except for they hadn't used any features of the Vita. Just felt they had to use something, so they made that happen. I don't know, maybe there's more to it than that. Maybe that's something they were really looking forward to, and like, man, as soon as we can make these games on the Vita, we can make people tap the back of the screen. Yeah, I don't know. This is probably the game which I have the least to talk about, because they really didn't do a whole lot with it, but the old game was so great, I kind of don't mind. Alright, well that is Luminaire's Electronic Symphony for the PlayStation Vita. And this is Super Stardust Delta for the PlayStation Vita. That sky moves when I move the Vita. Okay, now this is the sequel to Super Stardust HD that came out on the PlayStation 3, which was actually the sequel to an Amiga game which I was rather fond of way back, which I mostly remember for being able to pick like a really small ship and then teaming up with another player who would have a really big ship, and you could dock the two ships together and you would shoot asteroids. That's about all I really recall from the old game. Things have certainly moved up a lot since then. So it's a dual joystick shooter. Just flying around this little asteroid here in the background. Shooting away at these rocks. Shooting the green ones to get special power-ups. Just chipping away at this big rock here. Don't get too much special there. There's two different fire modes. I can fire ice bullets, which are better for getting the blue rocks, and to use the red beam for getting rid of the red rocks. I like the way this moves and looks. Oh, there we go, I've got some power-ups here. Might fire a little bit more dangerous, even more dangerous. Oh, and I get this weapon overdrive here, which kind of temporarily puts it up all the way. I'm nearly done with this first wave here. Yep, that's first wave done. So there's 5 waves to each one of these levels on this mode. Let me just attack these guys here. Actually, this is a perfect It'll tap the screen and it fires out rockets, which is perfect when you're surrounded like that. I'll go ahead and show off one of the other planets. This planet here has a lot more ice going on. There we go, so ice rocks. It's kind of the same bag. This game does have a ton of modes. There's modes where you have to move using the gyroscope on the Vita, which is pretty bad, but it's way down on the modes list. It's like, hey, we can do this, so we're just kind of throwing it in. There's a more classic mode where you don't have all these different abilities, such as here I can do a tap the back of the screen and look at that. Create a black hole. Yeah, there's a mode where it turns off like everything except for, I think, the EMP blast, which I guess is more like a Stardust HD mode. It's been a long time since I played Stardust HD. Those little guys. All the experience money I'm getting from all those little guys. Yeah, so there's this boost button here for getting out of trouble. I'd forgotten about that one. You can actually tip the Vita to adjust your view of the action. Yeah. It's cool. It's there. Just gotta go through that again because even though I prefer some of the other power-ups, that still just looks crazy. Well, in a nutshell, that is Stardust. There are boss monsters I've not shown, but you get the general gist of what the game's like. And it's cool stuff. I liked it a lot.